everybody, and welcome again back to my reviews. Once again, I'll be reviewing the Aliens comic, and this is the final edition, and it's issue 16 of May 1992. Still not suitable for young children, and it's billed as being the frenzied final issue. Countdown to Armageddon there, bit cool. Cool cover art. This is number 16, as you say, and it's billed as being the final issue. Now, I got a bit confused about this because when I was buying these, I was able to find an issue 17, which is this one underneath. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe more about this one and go into more detail about this one, because this is the story I was following in the last reviews. So there was some confusion about why there was an issue 17 and why this is billed as issue 16, the last and final edition. And I'll try and explain that as best I can towards the end. So as we said last time I was doing these reviews, we had the contents page, as usual. Your t-shirts and your merch you used to be able to order back at the time when this was going. Obviously, this was Trident Comics. It was by Neptune. But Neptune and Trident, I don't know if they went bankrupt or collapsed or closed down. I'm not sure what the whole scenario was behind that. But this used to be based in Leicester. So based on characters and situations 20th Century Fox. A lot of Mark Verheiden stuff was in these, which was really good stuff. And it's been great reviewing these guys. I've really enjoyed reviewing these comics because I've done them all now up to here. As I said, there was an art change around, I believe it was issue 8, I think it was originally the art changed, and that was where I just explained the differences in the change of the art. So yeah, it changed for me. It wasn't my favourite, only personal opinion, but the art is good art. As I've said, I'm not an artist, so I don't put any any stock in my opinion on art. I mean, proper comic enthusiasts might love the art in these later issues, but it just wasn't for me personally. I like the ones in the earlier editions. But yeah, it's all down to fair. But you get this, like I say, this excellent cover art. That's brilliant, isn't it? You can't fault that. That's one of the actual hives, isn't it, from the aliens' homeworld. They have these hives, don't they, when they start to establish their own communities, their own areas, their nests, whatever you want to call it. But they start to have these bulging sacs that the queens seem to live in these comics. I haven't seen that in movie form yet, but certainly in these comics it seems to be a thing. And I think they touched on that, didn't they, in Alien Resurrection, when the genetically engineered queen grew like a womb, didn't she? Which would look similar to that. So yeah, it's good art there. There's a marine being about to be munched by a Xeno. The old royal jelly dripping out of his gob there. Very good. So this was based on a story, like I said before, about something called Xenozip, which was almost like, so basically after the Earth War, humans had basically won the Earth War with the help of Ripley, Nixon, Newt, and they had won the Earth War. And what that meant was that the aliens were no longer able to reproduce. So they were basically just killing off the remaining Xenos that were on Earth, slowly but surely getting Earth back. But in typical fashion of the alien universe, greed, wealth and prosperity is once again playing a part in the story. And Hicks and Newt and all that part have done their part now, and it moved on to alien genocide, which is the story of how humanity is trying to create super soldiers by they've realised they can use royal jelly, which is the substance that's secreted by the xenomorphs. But they're running out of test subjects. And in usual stupid fashion, they're using the military to go to the alien homeworld to bring back specimens in order to create this Xenozip super soldier version of basically like the steroids, the xenomorphs. So they're all trying to get this xenozip at the moment. So they launched a assault on the alien homeworld, and as I said in the last episode, they have this new shielding technology that they're using to create a bubble that they can be safe in while they operate on the homeworld, because on the alien homeworld at the moment, the genocide part of this story is the different species of xenomorph is fighting each other. You've got the red xenomorph and you've got the original black xenomorph, but they're fighting for supremacy, and they've both got a queen. So, and last time we learned that there was a saboteur aboard, and we saw that the saboteur had put an egg inside the ship, for some reason trying to sabotage the plans of what's going on. But someone saves him just in time. So they're still trying to work out who the saboteur is, and if you remember from the last episodes, they had these new super suits that were able to withstand alien acid to a much more higher degree, enabling them to engage xenomorphs more effectively. They're using ship and missiles to clear patches, because there's millions of xenomorphs on the homeworld, all fighting against each other at the moment. So they're using tactical missiles to clear the way, which is cool. Good art as usual, guys. Good art. This is where they're venturing in, trying to get the big specimen they require. So they've actually gone into the hive now, and they're stretching this shield round them as best they can to get in. But we still don't know who the saboteur is yet. So yeah, you've got some very good art here, guys. It's where something it's actually got through one of the suits. So not 100% effective. And you find out here that all along the corporal was actually the traitor that we talked about. And they all start fighting each other. And again, it's all greed, isn't it? Trying to get the specimen back. Trying to get it back as best that they can. And there's the Xeno zip, you can actually see it there. And he puts it into the corporal's mouth. And as you can see, the corporal starts fighting Xenos, and he's even getting parts ripped off him. That's how bad the Xeno zip is on human anatomy. And this is all about escaping now, as they've managed to get the supplies of Xenos they need, however stupidly that seems, because we ain't learned a lesson from the original aliens. And then they escape with the specimens. As you can see, there's a good ending scene there, and it's got the xenomorph with the trumpet or whatever it is. Don't quote me on that, I'm not a musician, but yeah, he's got a trumpet or whatever they call it there, or trombone, I don't know, I'm not a musician, but yeah, it's a good picture anyway. She's got Good Night Major. This part of the comic I'm just going to skim over, because it's the story of how Hicks and joins Butler, and this goes back to the original part of the very first episode beforehand, of how the government was seeking to retrieve specimens, of how they're trying to retrieve the specimens. And this is basically how that happened, the story of how it happened. So I'm just going to skim through this. There's some bits about Newt, Hicks and Butler from the original story, you know. This is how a specimen ends up getting to Earth anyway, and how the whole thing started. So it's gone back to black and white again. Like I say, a lot of these stories did around this time for some reason. I'm not quite sure why totally they went back to black and white. But there's Newt and Butler, and that's the story of how they met. And obviously Butler later on finds out he's an android, doesn't he? Which you find out in the later episodes, don't you? Some good scenes there. There's a chest bursting scene there, and how the mission went wrong to bring back a specimen, you know. It's very cool. So I don't know if you can see there, some good art there with the aliens. But yeah, it is good art, guys, don't get me wrong. But like I say, it just changed up, and I'm not sure why. And I think at this point, this was where it was, you know, if it was the company that was disbanding or going under, it was they closed down anyway. So Trident Comics and part of Neptune, I think it was, both closed down. So there's some good Xeno art there, guys, and some good egg laying. Look, so this is again how it all happened. And there's Newt and Butler again, and there's one of the original pulse rifles there. It's quite good art. And then it goes on to once again you've got your hero model kits. So action hero model kits. I used to like the Hulk. I like the original the old 80s TV show. It was brilliant. I really did like that TV show. Very good. I loved the original intro where he's changing his tyre in the rain and his hand slips, and you see him for the first time. He changes into the Hulk, doesn't he? And old Lou Ferrigno, when he was painted in green, charging about with the big muscles, wasn't he? And it was just really good 80s telly. And I like that show about he didn't really have to kill anybody, did he? It was kind of like the same as the A-Team and Knight Rider. You know, rarely did you ever see anyone perish, did you? And it was that kind of magic, that kind of TV area, and you always saw him at the end, didn't you, drifting from town to town with that sad music. And that sad music ended up getting used in a lot of memes and jokes, didn't it, later on down the road, you know, people saying silly things, and they'd play it at the end, wouldn't they? So it's quite funny. But I did like that show. That original show was really good. Once again, I've gone off topic as usual. So this is then issue 17, which is very odd because, like I say, I was confused when I first got this. Now, it's gone back to £1.50, and this was in June of 1992, so that would have been about the time that these comics ceased with Trident and stuff like that. So this is all new to me, all this. So nice cover art, and that looks like a different variation of a xenomorph, and it says one I can't find my words today, guys. One Mean Mother, featuring Bisley on Aliens and the making of Alien 3. So this probably would have been at a time that I don't know what the date of Alien 3 was when it came out. But here's the change. This is by Dark Horse Comics. Now, Dark Horse is a massive name in comics, and obviously they do some fantastic work, and it's a huge mega comic company, isn't it? So they were obviously taking over this. Now, whether that continued, I don't know, because I know that there's lots of Aliens Dark Horse comics out there, but whether it continued with this, I'm not quite sure. Plus Predator, so Predator's made a return. So let's have a quick look through here and just see what this read-up says. So Dark Horse International Comics. So it says, welcome to the first Dark Horse Comics issue of Aliens. It's got their greetings and salutation, fellow chestbursters. So I've got good news for you. This is the last issue of the current numbering of Aliens. Why, you ask yourself? Is that good news? Well, as you may or may not know, Dark Horse Comics is the originator of the material you've been enjoying over the past 16 issues. And by taking over the title, we want to make some positive changes. First off, the cover price is lowered to $150, and the extended is 52 pages. We have an original cover printing by the Alien 3 sculptor, Chris Halls, specially commissioned for the magazine. An absolutely stunning 8-page alien story by Simon Judgment on Gotham, Bisley, and exclusive reports on the making of this summer's sure to be a blockbuster movie, Alien 3. Predator is also back in these pages with a haunting story. This issue is an ongoing saga starting next month. Speaking of the next issue, we'll be starting a new Aliens epic entitled Hive, a story about a cyborg alien and his dog. Written by Jerry Prosser and illustrated by the extremely talented Keely Jones. Newt's Tale by Mike Richardson, Jim Somerville and Brian Garvey tells the action of the Aliens movie from Newt's point of view, and of course lots of info and photographs of Aliens 3. Letter hacks, write your jelly to aliens. So there you go. So obviously there was some change here where Dark Horse took over the comics, and this is the only one I've got of these, so I haven't got any more of these. So Predator, script is back again by John Arcudi, because he done some of the others, didn't he? And Theory of the Alien Propagation is by Mark Verheiden. So there's still familiar names still writing these comics, which is good. And yeah, so what can you say? It's changed hands. So there's different bits and bobs. We'll look through some of the art. I'm not going to go through all of this but there you go. You've got a really good art there, guys. It's really laid out well. Some very strange. I believe we looked at this already in black and white in the recent episodes, if I remember rightly. Going back in time. So this is in colour now. So we've actually seen this, haven't we? But it's in colour now, which makes it very different, doesn't it? Some good art there, the battles. So it's a bit mixed up with different parts. So you've got some very good layout there, and it's laid out right across the page, guys. So there's no gap like usual. You'd have the gap down here, wouldn't you? This goes right across, so it's like one big story. So that's the end of part 1 there of that art, and then it goes into Aliens part 2, which is a terminus. That looks very much like an AVP style setting, doesn't it? It's a pyramid. Very good art, guys. But this is, as I say, is the only one that I've got of these comics, so I'm not going to go too into detail into story, because otherwise there's no next part for me. Look at that. Someone's created a xenomorph there. Look at the art on that. Look. It's crazy. Look at that. Very odd art. Nice though, isn't it? It's good. Don't know what they're supposed to be though. Maybe bounty hunters of some sort. Intergalactic bounty hunter. Oh, there's a xenomorph, look. Very cool art. So yeah, it changed right up here, guys. It really did. These look like alien shops or something. Selling xenomorph eggs by the look of it. Yeah. Different art. So this is another new Predator section. I do like the Predator stories. I've never been sure which is better. Look at that. Xenomorph. Xenomorph, sorry, a Predator. I'm still stuck on Aliens, guys. I've been reviewing so much Aliens, I'm stuck on them. There he is, the Oucher. Big shoulder cannon. Very good. Good art there. That's very good art. Martial Law Signing Tour, May of 1992. Look at all those different events. I've had addresses for Forbidden Planet there, guys. I don't know if you've ever been to a Forbidden Planet. I like Forbidden Planet. They have some good stuff there. It's just so expensive though, isn't it, Forbidden Planet? But yeah, such epic shops, aren't they? But when I go there, I just want to spend money. So, you know, I have to try and stick away from that. Otherwise, I'll send myself into poverty. So here we have the Aliens 3 and the write-up for Aliens 3. What did we think of Aliens 3? I like the story of Aliens 3. I like the when they did it, the sort of extended version rather than the theatrical version. But could the story have been better? I believe it could have done, but I'm not a director. I'm not someone who's paid for that sort of thing. Was it a good ending? Was it a good way to end it? I don't know. I think for that movie, yeah, it was, wasn't it? I did like the fact that they showed the bishop sort of character at the end. You know, with the what looked like the Weyland-Yutani combat androids, didn't it? But very, very good. And it ended, I think, as that movie should have ended. But yeah, I think it would have been much better, personally, if they had gone along with the stories from here, from these comics, of how it went after LV-426. And I think that would have been much better, and it could have carried on. And I think they should have carried on with the James Cameron style of the aliens, or Alien. Because Alien 3 just took a completely different sort of direction. It wasn't really like Alien or Aliens. I can't explain what it was like. But again, it was good art, good filming, and a good setting for that movie, because it was a prison, wasn't it? A dirty, dingy, horrible prison in outer space. I mean, how was you going to make it look? But I think they tried to move away from that LV-426 style of, you know, setting. So there you go. So could it have been better? Yeah, I think so. Only an opinion though. I'm not a director by any chance, but yeah, I think it could have been, and I think they maybe should have gone along the lines. I even like the story of Aliens Colonial Marines, the game. That would have made a good third movie. Even that. So there's adverts for the next comics. And another Forbidden Planet advert on the back here. Must have had something going on with Forbidden Planet there. A bit of sponsorship maybe or something, I don't know. But there you go. Graphic novels, art books, you can get it all. Still all out there, guys, if you can hunt it all down. And on the back it's got the a monthly magazine from Dark Horse now. £1.50. Alien, so it actually went back in price, which would have been nice, wouldn't it? Because I thought that price jump was very expensive. To £1.95, especially in that point in time. But there you go. So this will probably be the last one of these that I do, unless I can find any other comics, and I'll do them. But I don't think I'll be finding many more. These were hard enough to get hold of, this collection. I'm looking at doing maybe now next to Terminator ones. I do like the look of the Terminator ones, so there you go. I'll be looking at those. So there we go, guys. So that's a double review there. So which I've pretty much skimmed through, because like I say, it's the final review. So this was issue 16, and it was billed as being the final, but obviously the final of the Trident ones. And then it was taken over by Dark Horse, which is issue 17, which is this one here. So, I mean, both are packed with good art and good stuff, a good read up. If you can get hold of these guys, it's well worth getting hold of them, especially the early editions of the Trident ones. I mean, a Dark Horse are always going to be good, aren't they, regardless, because their art is always fantastic, isn't it? I mean, I've got that other one that I reviewed recently that was very good. So yeah, I've enjoyed doing these reviews, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to stay frosty.